welcome to Let's Talk Dogs with Kez and Sam. You alright, Sam?
I'm good.
Good. I'm still on, and I. That's it.
Yeah, me too.
Lights are on, but nobody's home. Now, today, of course, we're going to talk about amazing jobs that dogs do. And there is a lot out there, because they're not just our best friend. There is loads of stuff that they can do for us. They trained and everything.
Loads and loads.
We do a little bit, did you know this about dogs? And I have a very, very special story to share.
Okay.
A hero dog called George. He's Jack Russell. But
Which is
my breed. I'm not biased at all. Do you know what I mean? The first hero dog happens just to be a Jack Russell. And then we'll have a little mention of our special appeal for some of our dogs, which is Jax. And we're just talking Jax today, because he's been with us a long time. So yeah, we'll have a chat about him. So I'm looking forward to the next episode. We'll be talking about how well do you cope when your dog is poorly, and we'll touch on vet prices.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a big one. That's a big one. It's a ropey one. We won't get too in depth, too political about it, but we will. I think it's worth giving it a mention, just how the world's going.
I agree.
So that's what we do. But obviously, the first one we're going to definitely be talking about is dogs that do jobs. I did a little bit of research, because obviously there's so much out there, isn't there, Sam?
Yeah, there's loads. I haven't had time to do any research on
I managed to look last night.
Did you?
I did a little bit of look.
No,
and I like this little way of this, off this website. They put, dogs are their intelligence, loyalty, and unique ability to make vulnerable partners in various aspects of human life. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah. So what jobs do you, off your head, Sam, that you know that dogs can do?
There are the guide dogs, there's hearing dogs, helping deaf people.
Yeah.
I used to support them before High Hopes. There's obviously police dogs, dogs in the army,
I know.
sniffer dogs, like drug dogs. There's dogs that detect cancer.
That's
amazing.
That one is like...
It's amazing.
That one is huge
I'd
for
love
me.
to actually do like train dogs to that level.
Yeah.
And there's also like the therapy dogs.
Yeah.
And the dogs that help with like epilepsy and things like that. There's so many. You've probably got a load.
I've got a load here, but obviously, I mean, I'm sure the people who are listening know that there's loads of common. I don't know if anyone can hear that, but someone's on the toilet.
It's not me.
It's not us. We're not doing this from the toilet. There's a tiny, tiny toilet. No. There is lots out there, but obviously I reckon if you ask people, there is the common example ones, which some of them you just touched on, you know, overall search and rescue, service dogs, individuals for disabilities, therapy dogs, military dogs, detection dogs for explosive or drugs, herding dogs, and cancer detection dogs. I mean, there's such a wide range, and apparently it's estimated roughly over 50 different roles they can perform.
Blimey.
I mean, I was at Waitrose quite a few years ago, and a lady was next to me in a mobility scooter, and she had a medical dog assist, a lovely Labrador. And I said, "Oh, isn't he amazing?" And I said, "Oh, what's he do?" She said, "Helps me get dressed, answers the door, you know, the phone rings." He was getting a loaf of bread off the shelf for her and putting it in the basket.
No, I'd love
How adorable is that? And the thing was, he does over 25 different jobs for her.
And she couldn't do without him.
And the thing is, I feel bad because I only do 5 jobs at work.
The dog can do
you
more
need to employ the dog.
But people are on waiting lists for like guide dogs, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they're also crying out for people to help train them.
There's a lady down by me somewhere that, it's just a puppy walking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to do it.
See, I would love to do it, but I just couldn't give them back. And that's a selfish thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to do a lot with them, don't you?
Yeah, you can't really mollycoddle them like I would. kisses and putting up on it. I think they can do it a little bit, but obviously there's a stage where you have to cut that off, apparently. I don't know a great deal. If there's anyone listening, please fill it, if you are one of those people that help with guide dogs, we'd love to hear from you. Or anybody who does any training for any of the special dogs out there, but there was another one, medical assist dog as well. I was leaving Waitrose, finally going home, and literally there was a young lady, she looked like she was in her 20s, and the dog, it was like a border collie actually, it wasn't a lab, it was a border collie, had a medical assist on, a red coat on him, and sat right in front of her just before she came into Waitrose. And I was like amazed. And I said, oh, what's that? What's he telling you? She said, I can't come in your store. She has such severe allergies that wherever she goes, and he's telling her she can't come into Waitrose because it will trigger her allergies.
My God.
She said, it's brilliant because he stops me to go a lot of places, unfortunately. So but it's brilliant because it pre-warns. He's there to, she's so bad. She has EpiPens on her. In Malvern, yeah.
Wow.
This border, I can't remember the border collie's name. But when I was obviously looking last night, there was jobs I wasn't even aware of that dogs do. And I don't know if you know any of these, let me know. Delivery dogs.
What do they deliver?
So delivery dogs. In some regions, dogs still carry goods or mail in areas where vehicles cannot easily access.
And St Bernard's used to do something like that.
I think they did. I mean, St Bernard's, they're amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd love a St Bernard, but I couldn't deal with the slobber.
No.
Slobbers.
There's a lot of slobber. My friend had a St Bernard. Brilliant as a puppy, but when he got older, I went round to see him again when he was one. I was like, oh my God. He sat on my lap. I was like in a pool. I needed a towel.
No,
I was like,
slobber, just ew.
They're amazing, but yeah. There's delivery dogs. I want to really look into more of that because I'd be interested. I reckon that's mountains and stuff, wouldn't you think?
I don't know. I've never heard of delivery dogs.
No, I've never heard.
I'm Googling that later.
Yeah, Google that later, Sam. And then this one, art protection.
Art.
I don't really think that was essential.
Like outside art galleries?
Yeah, so dogs can be trained to guard vulnerable artwork and historical artefacts.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that existed, did you?
No,
I don't know if anyone else listening knew that.
Not Scooby-Doo.
Not a Scooby-Doo on that one. And this one was electronics detection. Can be trained to sniff out electronical equipment or components.
Why would they need to do that?
I don't know. Where's the plug? I don't know. But the dog will find it for you. I don't know what I've gone friggin' Irish for. But yeah, and that one's another one that needs to be more researched on, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to have to Google that one.
I've not heard of that. I feel like I may have seen something on the telly, but I don't know. That one is, yeah. And this one, I did have a chuckle. Whale poop.
What?
Yeah! Whale poop detector. What? Stick him on a boat, send him out to sea, and he'll find you whale poop.
Why do you need whale poop?
Well, this is what it says. Trained to detect and collect whale feces for scientific research.
Okay.
But I don't know what the scientific research is. It's poop. It's shit. What does that matter? Does it mean where there's a bungle of whales? I don't know. A bungle. What's a bungle? It's a bungle. A bungle. That's not right.
There is a word.
There is a word for whales.
It's left my head now.
Yeah, I'm not much with the animals at sea. It's not animals, is it? What is it out at sea? Mammals.
Mammals.
Yes, that's the badger.
I'm going to have to Google it now.
Yeah. Whale poop detectors. And it's interesting.
Yeah.
And this is another one, Sam. Lobster catching.
Oh.
Yeah. In some
Ouch.
fishing communities, dogs assist in catching lobsters.
Oh.
So I wonder if they're on the boat and they're at the brink of the boat and they're directing them where lobsters are.
A pod.
Oh,
Sorry.
is that what it's called? A pod?
Pod of whales.
Pod
Sorry,
of whales, not bungle.
It's just annoying me.
I've just renamed that.
Yeah.
A bungle of whales, not a pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that interesting. So, I mean, there's even more jobs that they do, but like, those I didn't even...
are the most...
Yeah,
bizarre.
There's a lot more than that I didn't know, but obviously I can't ram it all in. We've got a short space of time. but overall, like, dogs for me should be on a very, very high pedestal, because they're not just pets and companion and a huge member of the family and bring us so much joy and happiness in our life, but these dogs have the ability to assist us
with so many things.
I mean, diabetes, epileptic fits, allergies, which I just said to you.
Yeah.
I mean, how we're able to train them to do this, but then again, is it selfish of us to do this? But they've been man's best.
Enjoy working, don't they?
They get
particularly the likes of the Border Collie. They need to work.
Mm.
When I was first married, I had a Border Collie off a farm. I mean, I was 19 actually when I had her. I didn't get married till I was 21, but I would never do that again.
Really?
Yeah, she just needed to work, and I couldn't provide that. You know, I had a baby. I got 2 kids, and you know, she went for a walk, but it wasn't enough for her, and she was quite destructive. My mum ended up taking her. Yeah, sorry.
Is it more like the brain for them?
Yeah, it's because if they're bred from working stock, they've always worked, haven't they?
Yeah.
And so for her not to walk, she just got very bored, very destructive, chewed up loads of furniture. And my husband at the time said, I've had enough.
Really?
Yeah, one of the days we'd gone out and she got up into my eldest's bedroom.
What's my stomach? I want a sandwich. I'm so sorry if that's come through on there.
And yeah, she chewed up all the furniture in the room. She'd obviously gone in, shut herself in accidentally, and we'd only been out a couple of hours and had just chewed up all the furniture. And he's just like, my husband was livid, and he was like, no.
I don't know if it makes you feel any better, but my sister's dog George, he ate half the sofa.
Did he?
He did. Joanne come home, she only had half a sofa left.
I didn't know that.
Literally, he was just in the middle of the settee looking as happy as a Larry.
When was that? Was when she first had it?
It was not about a year and a half having him. And it was the fact like she hadn't took him out, and sadly, you know, because of busy life, because there is days where you don't, you know, there is days where we don't take our dogs out, and George obviously had a meltdown and decided to rip up her sofa.
Keep himself entertained.
Yeah. But Joanne sent me a picture, I couldn't stop laughing. I've never seen so much carnage in a living room. I bet there's people here who, their dogs have done that.
Oh God, yeah.
Their dogs have done that.
Yeah, my son's dog, my other son's dog, ripped up the lino in the kitchen. They just moved in and they had Dexter after they moved in, so they weren't too bothered. But he kept ripping it up and ripping it up.
Wow.
And they left, and then they got a lino out of another room or something. They'd done another room, moved the lino into the kitchen, put it down, ripped all that up.
Oh my God.
Doesn't do it now.
There's a lot of people you see on Facebook of they come home. I love the ones where they've been in the bin and they've got the lid round their head. And they're going, what have you done? And they're looking like it wasn't me. I love that. I love that maybe this is why they do need to work. They've been along the man and humans for so long that they've just, they need to assist. They need to do something.
I mean, you knew Nita very well. She was here for 2 years.
Yeah.
And she was nicknamed Naughty Nippy Nita. Yeah. She ate the seatbelts in the vans, both vans. Oh she pulled all the rubber off the door. She ate numerous leads. She was really naughty. So, and she didn't go home. I mean, she tried to bite everyone initially. But she went home maybe 2 months ago. Hasn't touched a thing.
I know.
But she's out. She's a yard dog. She's out and about in the yard all day.
It makes all the difference. Because like when you've got dogs in rescue, like me and Dad went to pick up Radar, who was a Jack Russell. He was later on in life. He was about 11. And he looked like an absolute lunatic in there. He was jumping up and down. He was pacing about. And I said to Dad, are you sure? Dad got him home. As soon as he got into the home comforts and he was out of that environment, it was a different dog. And he excelled. And when they rang us to check on him, they could not get over how well Ray had been.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I still think about Nita every single day.
Yeah.
She went through a lot with me, and she had a stroke and everything. It just blows my mind how well behaved she is. She leaves her in the car. She doesn't chew it. Excuse me a moment. We just need to get a door in.
So, anyway, livestock guarding dogs is known as LGD. These dogs protect against lions and cheetahs. I was saying to you the other day about this.
Yeah, we were talking about the African...
And I can't say the name of this breed.
Is it the one with the bee one?
Can you read that, Sam? I don't want to get too close because we'll end up with an echo.
Which one? Anatolian Shepherd. That's what...
You're good at reading that.
That's what Drea's got across.
Is it?
Denver.
Anyway.
Kangal.
And the Mastiff.
Kangal.
And then a Mastiff.
And a Mastiff.
No way.
That's what, like the Meeritics, they're bred to guard the livestock in Romania from bears and wolves.
There you go.
It's quite interesting actually watching them. I spent a lot of time watching them in videos.
Yeah.
Just to try and understand them a bit more.
But they apparently, it says here, when I read up about it, it says they are effective of protecting livestock from predators like lions and cheetahs. These dogs are bred to bond with the livestock and instinctively guard them. So it's instinctively in their nature. Jesus, I just thought. Sorry, I've got a beer. I thought I was going then. Oh yeah, that's in them to naturally
do that,
and they bond with livestock. I mean, I think I was saying to you that they urinate around the perimeter, which puts off the cheetahs, mainly the cheetahs. I mean, they will take on a lion to the degree where they give off their body language and they will try and fend. I mean, if they took on a lion, I dread to think what the outcome would be. But I think the lion's just like, I can't be bothered with that. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
This isn't a small, but yeah, and it's interesting.
It is interesting.
But they're so sacred out there, especially in places like Africa and stuff like that, where their livestock is their livelihood that keeps them going, makes the money. That 95% is nearly up to 98%, actually, I did read, that there's been no cattle killed from having just these dogs.
They are incredible.
So they are literally a weight in gold.
I mean, we don't really bring many Meeritics Bukovinas over anymore because they're quite hard to rehome and stay home.
Yeah.
Because they are bred
once
to
again,
do that,
working dog.
And then you put them in a home. I mean, we don't rehome with under 12s. We are very careful with rehoming them, but they're not easy dogs at all. They're very stubborn.
Yeah.
They need a special kind of owner. Even Dora.
Yeah. You are looking for that special person that, one, loves large breeds, and two, knows the knowledge of them and knows how to look after them. And really, they do need to be guarding or doing something.
They need to have some experience, because people say they're experienced dog owners, but if you're experienced with like a Jack Russell, a Cocker Spaniel that you've had from a puppy to an adult or whatever, it's very different from taking on an XL 45, 50 kilo dog that is powerful, that you need to keep under control and you need to socialise and train from a young age.
Yeah, it's very important. But overall, I just think dogs that assist, the sniffer dogs, there's dogs out there that detect poachers for the elephants and everything for the ivory. I think that is incredible. So the poachers they're being hunted, which I love that kind of scenario. Apparently, once the poachers know that the dogs are onto them, they leave the area because they just know that they're going to get found.
Well, they will.
And literally, I think that's brilliant. So dogs over there are they're really valuable because they can detect weapons, drugs. I mean, we all know about the drugs and stuff like that. You see them at airports, and I'm looking at them so much when I'm in the airport, and I'm like
just watching them.
And I love
watching them.
I hope you don't sit next to me. I've been next to someone with marijuana because that can waft, can't it? But yeah, it's amazing to see, isn't it?
I'd love to train sort of a proper sniffer dog. I'd love to know how to do that.
Yeah. Find the keys and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, we've been out a lot of times looking for dogs that have gone missing.
Yeah.
After going home, and I've always taken one of my old dogs with me. I mean, she probably wouldn't do it now. But the one time a dog had gone missing, it's about 5 years ago, and she kept sitting in the same spot along the hedge. And I absolutely knew that dog was in there or had been in there. And I think it was the next day we went back and he came out of that exact same spot.
Yeah, they know.
So they know, but I'd love to know how to actually train them to do it properly.
I think their noses, because they do need, especially the dogs in the military, they have to have rest days because there's only so much many hours they can use their noses because they can get I don't know if they can get poorly, but they have to rest them only for their well-being and stuff. But I just think their noses are at a whole new level that we haven't even really unraveled, really, to be honest.
I love the Malleys. I love watching them.
Oh my God, they're amazing, aren't they? My mum's always sending me videos. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? And I said, it's a Mallee mum.
They're incredible.
They are incredible. But yeah, there is so much more. I probably can come back to that because there's so much more, later on down the line. We can come back to that. But yeah, overall, I think they're fantastic. But yeah, we move on because obviously time is eating away. Did you know this? Now, it's quite basic. I think everybody would know this. The fastest dog in the world. What would you say the fastest dog in the world?
Would that not be a greyhound?
Yes, it would. But then what would you say would be the second fastest dog?
I don't know.
It's a silky. It's a silky.
A silky?
Yeah, it's part of the grey. It's a silky. I'm not going there. But no, apparently a greyhound can run up to 45 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yeah. But did you know this? I'm once again not being biased or anything like that. But the Jack Russell, how fast do you reckon a Jack Russell's been clocked at?
I reckon 25.
Oh no.
Not that fast.
No, faster.
Faster.
I tell you, he's gone faster than that.
30?
Faster.
35.
Faster.
40.
38.
No way.
Yeah, I googled it. I double checked.
It's got to be one of the long-legged ones.
It could have been a Parson.
How could he Boss? Boss.
No, Boss ain't normal. Fast. No, Boss. He has got a bit of a spring on him, but yeah, 38 miles per hour. Can you believe it?
No.
Incredible, isn't it?
Incredible. We tried to put a thing on Roman to see how fast he went because he's got some speed. Roman.
Really? He's a big dog.
He can run. He used to run when we went to the other field.
I'll tell you what then, you line up with him and you try and outrun Roman.
I can't run.
I can't run.
I don't do running.
Run, Forrest. I would love to see Bolt go up against a greyhound. Bolt, Bolt, Olympics Bolt. The fastest runner, 9 seconds.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Bolt. He should go up against the greyhound.
I wonder how fast he runs.
He's done so many meters, however many meters it is when they do in the Olympics. He did it in 9 seconds. Fastest.
Was that 100 meters?
That's it. I watch Olympics a lot. I should know it's 100 meters.
Well, there's 100 meters.
It's over in seconds, isn't it? You wait nearly all day for 9 seconds of your life.
I prefer to watch the swimming or
I live in Olympics.
Synchronised swimming or the gymnastics.
They should get the greyhounds involved. Get the Jack Russell.
Doing gymnastics.
Yeah, I'm representing Great Britain. Boss from Malvern.
I could just see him.
Little Boss, he just run the other way. So obviously I was Googling the fastest and I thought, do I know which is the slowest dog in the world?
A pug? No, not a pug. Basset?
Yes. And how fast do you think a Basset can run?
About 5 miles an hour.
Oh, bang on. Walton, you get a prize. You get a piece of cake later on.
I love a Basset hound.
A Basset hound runs. It runs up to 5 miles per hour. It did change a little bit from who was in second spot, but the second spot was I want to say chinchilla, but then a bloody chinchilla. Chihuahua.
That's just because they're so teeny, isn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't think they'd be slow because they're like little and they're like, I don't know. And then it's the pug. But I would argue about the pug because Marie, my friend, my best mate, she's got a pug and he's full of character and he constantly runs all day. But he's still got loads of timber on him, which is baffling, but that's the pug for you. He's on the go all the time and he's running around the garden quite quick. So that is...
Maybe you need to get one of those, what are they called? When you can...
I need to monitor Doug the
what they're
pug.
called now.
Definitely.
Pack something. Pit pat.
Pit. I guess I've got Tourette's now. yeah, I don't know if I would put him in third spot. And then the bulldog, and then a Shih Tzu.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, that's what I thought that was interesting. But I'm arguing with the pug. I feel like the pug can go faster. It says 6 miles per hour. The pug. I feel like that's got to be fast.
How fast do you reckon you ran with Dora earlier?
Probably 2 miles an hour. It was embarrassing. The bus overtook. There's passengers on the bus going, look at them silly bastards.
You look like you're going quite fast.
Did I?
Are you actually running? And I
couldn't
see Dora, and I was like, oh my God, have you lost the dog?
Yeah, I'm running back. Sam, we're in a crisis. Yeah, I suppose you probably couldn't see because of the wall.
There's the fence, yeah.
I decided to run with Dora. We were going downhill. I ain't running uphill, that's for sure. So we had a little jog, didn't we, Dora?
I don't think she'd run uphill either, to be fair.
I don't think many people will. I admire people who do run up hills and mountains and do all that. I find it so boring. I just find running boring. I generally do.
I used to like running, but I had shin splints, and then I haven't.
Oh yeah, you said about that. Yeah,
then, but now I just don't do running.
So yeah, that was what did you know? But I will say, Sam has got me. Has got a question for me. I'm intrigued to know this because I have no idea what she's going to ask me.
Well, it's a nice question.
Is it a nice question?
Yeah.
It's not an embarrassing one. It's not about Tom Hardy, is it?
Oh no. No. What is the proudest moment in life with a dog?
Oh wow.
It's a deep question.
That is a deep question, and it's a hard one because I've had so many wonderful dogs over my time. That the proudest moment with a dog, with one of my dogs, because I've got several, Sam, that's hard.
Can be any dog.
It can be any dog, I understand, because I've got Milo and I've got, I suppose the most emotional one of something being happy is going down to Guinness. Because, of all the dogs I've been through, Guinness, trying to help Guinness get through things. And then when I was in a situation where I didn't think I'd be able to spend the rest of my life with him, I was trying to help him find another life, a new person.
And you did actively do that.
And I did my utmost to try and do it. And I have to confess, I went on a day where we had Meet the Dogs Day. And people were arriving and I was thinking, because he's reactive, how on earth are we going to actually go up to people for you to get to know? And I did wander off with Guinness and sit behind a hedge and cry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't want to let you know that because it was a happy time, and I didn't want to bring it down. You know what I mean? Like nobody likes it. I could see how
difficult it was.
It was the most difficult time, but I managed to find a way of bringing him home.
Yeah,
and it was a fantastic day, and I was so proud that we've managed to get there.
Yeah, wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy.
But you did it.
I did it.
Oh, that's a really nice story.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of, there's a dog scratching. You've ruined the moment there. We had a moment there and you've just ruined it. No. So yeah, but moving on, right. So basically about proud moments. This is a proud moment. There might be people who've heard about this, and I may have said to you about this, Sam. Is a hero dog today is George, a Jack Russell, from New Zealand in a town called Moana, I don't know. Might not be saying that right, but anyway, it's from New Zealand. This George, this Jack Russell, saved 5 children. Apparently these children were walking home from being to the shops and was unaware that were coming from behind was 2 dogs. That the oldest child in the group was 11 and the youngest was 4 years old. And these 2 dogs circled the 4-year-old, was going for the 4-year-old. And obviously the children, and they were pit bulls. I didn't really want to say the breed because that gets labelled, but unfortunately these dogs were pit bulls. And George was obviously local in the town, was nearby, and they went to attack the little boy and the children. George, 9 years old, no, he's not going to be able to fight these dogs off, jumped in and started to attack the 2 dogs. The children ran off screaming. The locals heard all the commotion. The 2 dogs started attacking George. By the time the locals got to George, sadly, his wounds and his injuries were so severe that they had to call his owner, Alan Gay, and he had to make the horrible decision, knowing that the bravery that he took to save those children.
Oh, that's made me go all cold.
Yeah, it is upsetting, but in honour of George, the children obviously did little drawings for him, and there is a bronze statue in the local park with a plaque for George, and there's a lovely statue of him, and he's been rewarded the BDSA Golden Medal Award for being a true hero of bravery and a heroic, it was heroic that he knew he was 9 years old. Dogs get to an age, don't they, where they won't tackle a dog because I ain't got no chance. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And George jumped up and was able to fight them off to a certain degree, and the children managed to get away, and no children were hurt.
Bless him.
I know. So you can look him up. If you look up George, you go on you put George in from New Zealand, you'll see his statue. And you'll see the owner, Alan. And there's other awards have been rewarded since then.
For George? For George,
yeah. His owner's got a reward stone from the United States. Someone sent him a purple poppy, which is one that's a military one, which is meant to represent the animals that fought and died in the Second World War and the First.
What a special little dog.
I know. George. And he's lovely. He looks older than 9. It did vary, actually, when I looked it up. They were saying, one was saying 14, the other one was saying 11, but majority of when I was looking him up, it was saying 9 years old. And he died on the 29th of July, I believe, or June. It says on his little plaque.
How was this, do you know?
2007. He died in 2007. But yeah, but there's loads of stories out there of hero dogs, but I just wanted to mention George because that really struck a chord. I mean, obviously, it's a Jack Russell, but there is other ones that don't. That sadly has got a sad end.
Yeah, if you hear of any, then
let us know of any more hero dogs. But I'll try and each podcast try and do a little hero story because there's loads out there. There's loads during the war. There's loads. There's Boris the dog, which I'll share next time. Boris, and our good name.
What kind of a dog is Boris?
Boris is like a basset hound.
Okay.
And he was over in Afghan.
Okay.
I might as well say it now. He was over in Afghan. And he was a stray dog on the street. He's a mixture, obviously. He's not full. But he basically, the British Army go out on patrols during the day for the Taliban and stuff like that to check things. And they leave things like mines. It was the most common thing that, they go out on patrol and they step on something and it blows them up. So they have a patrol which checks so vehicles can go through and can get to certain places and they have to check it. But this dog was known as a stray, nothing to do with the military at all. And he started walking alongside some of the soldiers and they got to know him and he'd come out on patrols with them. And they noticed there was a certain times he would just stop and start barking. And they were like, oh, go away, whatever's going on. And they noticed when he started barking, there was a mine nearby that the Taliban had laid down.
So he knew.
He knew. And every time he'd come out on patrol, whenever he'd bark, they started to check it out. And lo and behold, they would find where he was near was, all that kind of thing. So anyway, this dog started coming out on patrols. It was a regular thing. There's one soldier, I can't remember his name, I feel really bad because I needed to look it up. But he basically started getting a little more of a bond with him and feeding him and stuff like that. But it comes to near, because they was out there for 6 months, it comes to the end of him needing to go back home. So of course he got so bad and he thought, if I go home, I don't know what's going to happen to him because he doesn't belong to anybody, he's on the street. So he rang his mom and told him about this dog and he said, this dog has been saving all our lives every time we've gone on patrol. If it wasn't for this dog, one of us could have stepped on one of those mines and potentially be killed. So we owe our lives to this dog. And she said, let me see what you're doing. So she started an appeal. She got around her friends, got around her family, and they raised the money for him to come back to the UK. Aww. And he literally, it was a newspaper article, my mum sent it to me. She said, you've got to read this about Boris. And he literally was on a sofa, absolutely loving life, somewhere up in Yorkshire.
Is he still alive now?
I think he might be still alive because it was funny. Yeah, I have to check on Boris.
Oh, what a lovely, lovely, incredible story.
Yeah, but he weren't trained. to detect the explosives. Isn't that funny?
It is funny.
Isn't it? Because he weren't necessarily with the military.
Just trained himself.
Yeah. He just warned him. He knew where the danger was and he was going, hey, can't go any further.
Maybe he'd seen his owner killed or something.
Might be. But I thought that was amazing. There was another amazing one. They made a film on it, but I'll have that for Friday.
Okay.
Friday. But what we'll talk about now is, we'll talk about Jax. What am I saying Jax for? It's Jax, isn't it?
Yeah. Have we talked about Shandy yet?
No, we can talk about Shandy. Because you know a bit about Shandy. We're having to talk about Shandy is about Shandy. I want to say Sandy. You put an H in there, that just messes with my head.
That's what you're drinking. Shandy.
Yes, I'm drinking a Shandy. Whilst I do this, you see what I mean? Right. Yeah, he's 5 years old and he's medium sized, isn't he, Jack?
He's shaped a bit like a basset.
He is, isn't he?
To be honest. Yeah,
I think he's comical.
He is funny. He's short-legged, but I wouldn't call him a small dog. He's quite hefty.
Yeah, because if you couldn't really pick him up and he'd weigh a ton. Wouldn't he? He's like a bag of cement.
Yeah, he's been one of our fosterers for off and on most of his life.
Yeah.
He went home as a pup originally. I think there was 8 of them. 8 of them. I think there was quite a lot of them.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. And
by Jove.
He went home as a pup and then was returned about a year later because he'd broken through the fence. I can't remember the whole story.
He'd broken through the fence?
He'd broken through the fence, or the fence had broken, and he'd had to go at one of the neighbours' dogs, like through the fence.
Oh.
And the owners wouldn't fix the fence, so they kept him inside. But then he was weeing and pooing inside.
Oh, Jesus.
But she was pregnant and she couldn't cope with the smell, so I'm not going there. This is a long time ago. Anyway,
yeah, it's a long time ago.
So he came back, and I think Nick had him that time. And then he's been to another 3 homes since then.
Has he? I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, the last home he went to, it was a family, and I went down and did meet with Nick and the owners, and they had 3 little girls, and it seemed like they genuinely wanted, and they'd had a reactive dog before, and they wanted to give him a home. And then they split up. She took the children, didn't want the dog, and he was working full time, so he couldn't keep the dog. So he ended up coming back again. But he's not the easiest dog in the world. He is reactive.
Yeah, but is it just really reactive to dogs?
He is really reactive to dogs. Yeah, he can be vocal at times. He looks a bit houndy.
But he's very affectionate and cuddly, isn't he? He rolls over and he loves belly rubs.
He is. He's a really, really nice little dog, and Nick adores him, but she doesn't, she's got 2 big dogs already,
she can't. She did say she can't take him on. I've tried to bend her arm and put her to the floor.
He just needs someone who will genuinely care for him for the rest of his life, because all this to and fro with him,
I know, it
has affected him.
It does affect him.
It has affected him, but he is reactive. But which is what we talked about in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Is managing it for life.
Yeah. Well, I've got to manage Guinness for life.
Yeah, and it's we go through all the stages, like the home check, and Nick goes in the chat and we tell them all about Jax, and he has had a couple of meets in the meantime, but he's never kind of been the right dog for them.
Yeah. Because
there is someone out there for him somewhere.
Because it says there's no cats or children, though.
No.
Adult only.
He has lived with children previously, and he's been okay.
But you're a bit...
I think because we don't want another home to fail...
Yes, you best take that equation out.
I mean, possibly older teenagers.
Yeah, like 15 upwards
savvy,
or something like that.
Yeah, but not... But he has lived with little children, but we just don't want to go there with him again. He's not been with little children for... I think
there's a lot at the moment of reactive dogs, isn't there?
Mm.
I think obviously we want to go on about it, but lockdown was a huge reason for a lot of dogs because they were unsocialised.
Would he have been a lockdown puppy?
I don't know. I met you in 2020. I got Rusty in 2020, didn't I?
Was that lockdown?
That was just before lockdown. I got Rusty.
So if he's 5, he would have been...
Yeah, so it'd be a lockdown dog.
Yeah.
So that's possibly why, because Rusty is a little bit reactive, but he is he is manageable, 100%. More so than Guinness, but then there's, but Jax, I just think is, an awesome dog, and you check him out. He's black and white.
Yeah, he's a funny little dude. He's got a lovely character.
He's got a lovely character. He is a really affectionate chap.
He does currently live with 2 female dogs.
Right.
I think, again, because you don't want it to fail, we're going for an only dog home.
Yeah. If you did have another dog though, Sam, you could do that gradual, meet a few times, see how things go. But
a male would probably not be ideal, a male dog. Yeah. But he lives with 2 large female dogs, one of which is a little bit older and a little bit unwell.
Right.
But he's been absolutely golden with them. But again, we don't want it to fail, so we'll go. We'll try for only dog home first, I think. Well,
please, if you sound like you like the sound of Jax, then please please have a look on our website and please visit and have a nose at him. And now we move on to Shandy. Shandy, how old's Shandy?
Shandy she must be 6.
Is she?
Yeah. But she doesn't, you wouldn't think that.
She's a lovely goldenly brown, I would say. And she's medium. She's a bit smaller than medium. She's in between a small and medium.
She's about 22.
Top, middle, bottom.
About the same size as Penny, maybe 23 kilos.
Yeah.
Slightly slimmer than Penny now.
Her face is a little bit like a Jack Russell. Just a little bit, I reckon.
Do you think?
Just the shape a little bit. But...
she's like a tall beat now.
I think she's a little bit odd shaped. To me,
you think has
a little bit odd shape.
Got quite a narrow face.
Yes, anyway, narrow.
Anyway, we're not doing a very good job of describing.
No, we're not, are we? I'm so sorry, Shandy.
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
She's been in rehab. Well, she was in rehab for probably 3 years. Couldn't touch her for the first 2 years. She's like Dottie. Like, she'd want to be next to you all the time, follow you around everywhere. But as soon as you go towards her with your hand, it's absolutely not. You can't touch me.
Really? But no, she's got better than that now. No, I mean, I've been stroking her today. I've walked her today.
Well,
she likes to have a conversation.
Arm. Yeah, she does like to chat.
She does
likes
chat.
To chat. But yeah, I broke my arm, and at that point, I was like, I need to push Shandy because this has just been going on and on for so long. So I did actually corner her, which I don't like doing.
Yeah.
But when they get to the stage when they're not moving on, something's got to change. And I did kind of corner her and force the issue with touch with my cast, because then, if she bites me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you've got a broken arm, Sand. Yeah. Sand! I called you Sand! Oh my God, I need help!
And anyway, she's gone from strength to strength from then. But the lead was a massive issue for her. And even now, having the lead on, she's all like flipping her head around like, no.
To be fair, I found her all right today.
Putting the lead on.
I mean, we can talk forever. Me and Shandy, who was away.
Oh yes, she does.
I can chat. She can chat. I was like, what are you talking about?
She needs another dog for sure.
Yeah, for confidence and stuff like that.
Confidence.
I mean, she's all right with dogs.
She's had no issue with any dog.
I mean, she didn't react or nothing.
No, dogs have had issues with hers. The only time she has a growl is when she's in bed.
She's relaxed. She's chilling.
Yeah.
Don't disturb me. I'll rip your leg off.
Not quite.
That's me. Don't disturb me.
But yeah, she's adult only home. She could possibly live with older children because she met Sarah's sons.
Yes.
And Sarah was going to walk George because Baloo's gone home now. Her eldest loved Baloo and always loved Baloo. But they needed another dog, and we're like, they're all nervous. So anyway, they had George, Penny and Shandy, thinking Penny. Yeah. Penny went out, absolutely terrified, not going anywhere near. George was waiting in the van at this point, because we were thinking George next. Anyway, Shandy comes out, straight into his arms.
Wow!
I literally couldn't believe it.
That's amazing!
So... Potentially,
yeah.
But not anything young. Not any
like nine onwards, maybe.
I think he's 12.
12, yeah, maybe.
But he's very dog savvy, so
he's got the natural gift.
But she's absolutely beautiful dog. She has been picked on by other dogs before now.
There are some dogs in this world that just dogs don't like, don't they? They have a bit of a...
Yeah,
but then
she used to pick on her terribly, and Shandy never went back, ever.
I don't like that when that happens.
But yeah, she's... one thing, only kind of real negative with Shandy is she hates cats.
There's a lot of dogs like that. I wouldn't take that as a negative.
No, it's fine, but when she sees one on a walk, she loses the plot.
Well, don't worry, because my old Jack Russell, Butsy, my childhood, my Jack Russell when I was a little child, he ran after a cat that quick that he went under a car and hit the other wheel on the other side, and he come out all wobbly. And
is this a true story?
True story. He saw a cat and he went mental. And he just ran across the road and went right under a car to chase the cat, and he hit the wheel on the other side.
But he was all right.
He was all right, but we did chuckle afterwards because we never chased the cat again.
God.
But it's a common thing, cats. It's a cat thing, isn't it? Let's be honest. And cats know that they wind up dogs, and dogs are just stupid because they just let them.
Yeah, there's some cats that kind of sit there.
They sit there
and back.
Yeah,
those are the ones that drive Shandy mental.
They know. But yeah, please look at Shandy. She's lovely. And Jax. So those are our dogs for today. I'm going to have to wrap it up now because we're getting close to the time that we've got to finish.
Are we really?
Yeah, we are, Sam. I know it's come to that time again. So this is the 5th episode of ours, and I don't know how... Please give us feedback on if there's anything you want us to talk about.
No one's heard any...
Nobody's heard.
We're on 5.
We're saving them up.
5 or 6?
We're on the 5th episode now, Sam.
Oh.
We're just chatting.
Yeah.
We're going with it. If you love it, please let us know. If you don't bother.
Exactly.
Stay quiet.
You've got nothing nice to say.
Nothing nice to say. Say nothing at all. That's what my nan used to say. Yeah. That's it. Well, anyway, I'm going to say goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Thank you for listening.
And take care.